I'm Laura Harper Lake.
And I'm Sarah Reitzman, and you're listening to Creative Guts.
Creative Guts began in the spring of 2019 as an interview-based podcast exploring the roots of creatives and discovering how creativity connects us as humans. It was just Laura and Sarah diving into a new realm of communicating. We wanted to hear about how other people chase their passions, push through challenges, and put their creativity out into the world. The podcast is inspiring, empowering, and sometimes hilarious. We aim to feature a diverse array of creative people on the podcast, like painters, writers, actors, musicians, printmakers, illustrators, teachers, dancers, advocates, videographers, jewelers, woodworkers, photographers, sculptors, muralists, poets, and much, much more. Creative Guts feels bigger than just 3 microphones, though. It has been about connecting with each other on a human level and connecting with the creative community. We've given so many individuals an opportunity to tell their story to the world, and there are so many more stories to tell. It is great to highlight these amazing people, but it is also about tearing down walls, getting vulnerable, and learning from one another. In interviewing so many creatives, we saw a need for more opportunities besides the podcast for creatives to share and connect. We started publishing zines, a collection of visual art and writings from adults and youths. We started hosting events like Meet and Critique, open mic nights, figure drawings, and more. We even created the Have a Little Guts tiny art exchange where creatives from all over the globe send each other tiny pieces of art. This small podcast ultimately grew into a non-profit that Laura and Sarah run alongside with a board of directors. We're not in it to make money or be famous, but to enhance the arts community here in New Hampshire and maybe beyond. So why is this important? Creative expression is vital. It helps people articulate their feelings, share their thoughts and perspectives, spreads joy, can promote self-confidence and mindfulness, and can change the world. Art, whether it be a painting, film, dance, song, book, or the many other forms of creative expression, can connect with others and help someone else see another perspective. It can be there as a comfort when times are tough, and it can inspire others to pursue their own creative expression. So for us, the way we connect and express ourselves was through podcasting. It's a medium that can seem daunting at first, but can be accomplished easily with a little bit of effort. The first step was deciding what we wanted to talk about on our show. Podcasts can be serious, funny, tell a story, or simply be an outlet. We wanted to interview creatives and hear their stories. But some of our favorite podcasts are fictional podcasts where a story unfolds, often with sound effects and background music teleporting us to another realm. A podcast can be used to share a particular hobby or joy, like talking about coin collecting, reviewing horror movies, or even a show about ducks. Or a podcast can challenge listeners on social topics like race, gender, religion, identity, challenging social norms, and more, ideally in a respectful manner. A podcast is a platform to share your voice and what you care about with others. You don't know who your listener will be once you put that podcast out into the world, so it's important to be kind with your words. Once you decide on the purpose of the podcast, you can dive into the fun world of equipment and software. You can invest in the state-of-the-art podcasting equipment, or you can record on your phone, or go somewhere in the middle. Creative Guts experimented with a few different pieces of equipment, but ultimately, we invested in the Rodecaster Pro and a couple of microphones. Laura and Sarah both edit on different types of software, and there are certainly free versions of editing software out there as well. With a little bit of research, you can find what is comfortable for you and your budget. So you have the what and the how. All that's left is the making. Write a script or free flow it, record with your friends, interview new folks, or simply do it on your own. Once you have some recordings, you can use a service to release the RSS feed to your podcast on major podcast platforms like Apple and Spotify, which does cost a modest price. You can also release your podcast on YouTube for free. There are many ways in which you can share your words with the world, but I don't want to get too technical here. We'd like to think our podcast has changed the world in some way. We've helped creatives tell their stories, which has inspired others into action. That's powerful stuff, and it has impacted us deeply. If you take our name, Creative Guts, a lot has been said about the creative side, but let us not forget the guts. Guts means putting it out there, even when that can be scary. We applaud folks who do that, and we feel empowered ourselves for daring to dream and actually following through with that dream. It can be a lot of work at times, but it is 100% worth it. So, what do you want to share with the world? How do you want to change the world? Your voice through a podcast or perhaps another artistic form of expression can do that. And in doing so, you can build a community, help things change for the better, and even have fun. So with that, as we say on our podcast, show us your creative guts.